Good morning, people. Good morning, my friends. We're all friends, even if we disagree on things. This hateful vibe that Trump has promoted is really horrible for human beings and for this country. Enemy within. Now, if you quote him from, Vermin and say this is what Hitler said, that's you can say, well, that's terrible too. But a lot of what he says is what authoritarians, dictators have said. And for some reason, good people, good Republicans, even support Putin and Russia against Ukraine. And Putin and Russia are a communist dictatorship in which you have no rights, no basic rights, which America likes to, be pretty proud of, and if not proud of, it's fundamental for civilization. This is a good book. I haven't read it. It's pretty thick. But, of course, the Constitution, 1787, passed. It wasn't ratified by the states until 89. So we talk about 1776, where our Constitution was 1789, much later. And it didn't have a Bill of Rights, and that was one of the biggest arguments was much of the state constitutions had that. And Madison and I think some other people were saying, it's inherent, whatever right. If we write down the rights that you have, then we'll be leaving out some. Anyway, their argument was ineffective. And I don't know enough about it, but I'm glad there's a Bill of Rights and the First Amendment, freedom of speech, religion, assembly, press. I think all countries need that, don't they? I would think so. It's just, we've been made with brains and ideas, and we should be able to talk about that, whether in speech or press or assembly, and we should be able to worship or not worship, however we want to. And the Church of England was the church of the state when America was founded, and or I shouldn't say that, when the colonies, 1700s, 1600s, and that was part of the deal. Is the what were they called? The dissenters. They weren't the Church of England, and they demanded, in a way, as much as you can demand from the king, their rights to worship as they wish. And so some of this local control planted some of the seeds that helped the revolution. And we were used to having more freedom and not being told, you're going to worship this way. This is the church for you. And you're going to give money to it too. But locally, the people didn't really follow that, and the local leaders didn't follow that. The king was thousands of miles away across an ocean. So fate, or whatever you want to call it, that's why it's very hard to fight a war across the ocean, whether it's Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, to think you can go thousands of miles into somebody else's homeland, you're going to get tired of it. You're going to spend a lot of money, and worst of all, you're going to lose a lot of people, and PTSD and traumatic brain injury and all the terrible things that happen in war. And eventually you will return home and they will still be there. Just like if somebody tried to attack us, it wouldn't last because we are here, and they would just be, in a way, visiting in a warlike manner. So anyway, I'm doing book reviews, and I talk so much that I'm I'm just going to do 7 at a time. But I think trying to understand ourselves and the world around us, it's so many thousands of years have gone by and different changes. I'm sorry if the light keeps changing. I don't know what to do about that. But I wanted some of the tree in the background. What is it, November 25th? Let's see, 5th, 6th, 7th, yes, 25th. Almost Thanksgiving. Still some color on some of the trees. We've been born into a beautiful world. I see a lot of people dressing in black and gray and dark colors, but I get tired of that because look behind me. I mean, this is where I live. I live in a house of color, or a land of color, a planet of color. What is this? Marigold? Marigold. Beautiful. So, be your colorful self. Be yourself, your personality. Nobody's like you. And you're going to make so many mistakes just like everyone else. That's the thing. We all make mistakes. That's okay. That's how it has to be. Nobody's perfect. And one of my ideas is people like me, we talk too much. And we probably do too much. So we err on the side of, man, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that's going to happen. Sorry. My imperfections are immense. And about half the world is like me. The other half of the world, their issue is they don't say enough. They don't do enough. And if you say something like, but I didn't do anything. Yeah, that's the problem. You didn't do anything. And there was slavery, or the women couldn't vote, or money is concentrating and people are struggling to survive and pay rent. So you can't just, or climate change. You can't just say, but I didn't do anything. Yeah, that's also the imperfection of the other half of the world. So we have to help each other find the middle, find the truth, create a better land. Anyway, I've been reading a lot about the Constitution and the Revolution. I have a hard time holding back on some of these other books. There's a great book on Washington. Joseph Ellis, I think his name is Joseph Ellis. I've read like 3 of his books. They're not too hard. I mean, 300 pages. Washington comes across as a great imperfect man. He liked land. He liked fancy things. And he was really strong and honorable. And we were lucky to have him as the leader at the time, no doubt about it. So anyway, I haven't read this, but it's looking more at after the revolution is over, and what kind of country do we create? And some of the violence that happened against the people that had supported Britain, and some of the violence that happened by dissenters against the Church of England and the soldiers of the king, and some of the deaths. There's so much to learn. I like graduate school because it was such a focus on, you could a whole semester on Shays' Rebellion or the Whiskey Rebellion, or all sorts of. You could do a semester on Valley Forge, and just really detailed. So yeah, and I don't have the best memory. You don't have to be the smartest person to be a good person, but you have to try to help each other. My mom read murder mysteries. That was her thing. But I'm certainly no better than her. because she was so kind and loving and giving, and the heart of the family, and beyond our family. I've had different people tell me, your mom was like a second mother to me. I had one guy say, your mom was my first mother, because my mother was too involved in all her things. She wasn't really much of a mother. My mother was his mother, which was pretty cool. So I'm just trying to share some of my ideas about how to live a good life. Try to get, what do you call it, quality. Ulysses, James Joyce. Maybe the greatest writer in the English language. That's what I would say. Is he hard to read? Oh my God. Near impossible. So what did I do? Ulysses annotated. This is even fatter. So here's the book, and here's the book that explains it. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? But I remember back in the day, and in the library at the University of Arkansas, and trying to read different writers, trying to read the best writers. And for my money, I was probably in my late 20s, I forget. But I thought, okay, this guy, James Joyce, he's the best. And right behind him, I would say, French guy, Proust. They were the two, like, man, they have, and a lot of it is description, describing a shoe in the corner, or describing the beauty of a tree, or describing the feelings of a human being. Description is a lot of it. Have I written a book? Yes. What's it called? Liberate, Legislate, Love. I mean, that was the revolution, then the Constitution. And we're still not very good at loving each other, and that's why money is concentrated so terribly, and so many millions and millions of Americans are struggling to have a decent life. But actually, it's big print. It's big print because I'm 66. I want something big print. I want to be able to read it and make it easier on me or anybody my age. My first book was Who's the Teacher Now? What was it? Ruminations of a Frontline Warrior. It was when I was teaching high school. And kind of a journal, and that one's kind of a journal too. But it's fun for me, I guess. Express myself, do something besides watch TV. That can get really boring. Watching other people do stuff, sports. I want to do something. I'm not really into the, video games. And a lot of them are so violent, it's unbelievable. But at least you're doing something. That's one thing I can say about it. Okay, one of the oldest religious texts, the Holy Vedas, the beginning of Hinduism, and who knows what came before this? We don't. I mean, it's 4,000 years ago, so you don't know. The strong soul, the wielder of powerful spiritual power, becometh the sovereign of all that is, movable and immovable of our impulses and emotions. The spiritualized soul conquers adversaries. When the soul is strong, no baser impulses like sensuous thoughts, passions, or any sort of temptations can harm us. I like some of that. And the idea that you can't have sensuous a part of your life, I don't really like that. But 4,000 years old, real beautiful. There's this. I think the second major book from the Hindus is the Upanishads. I like the Upanishads a lot, and we'll look at that another time. But this idea of how to be a good person, how to evolve, or how to become a better person every day of our lives. I think religions help in that, some of their philosophy. I don't like organized religions. There's so much hate and self righteousness and intolerance all over the world, not just this country. You can look all over the world. People get so proud of their religion and, I'm better than you, which is insanity and not at all what, if there is a God, God did not make everybody and everything and then say, well, these are the good ones and these are the bad ones. Why would they do that? Why would God do that? That's human beings wanting to say, I'm good and they're bad. It's really sad. We need to start working together to save the planet from climate change and destruction of so much because of all the extreme weather. We're having a hard time doing that, thinking as a society of man and woman. We're having a hard time coming to grips with that. It's beyond what we've done so far. We're so tribal. I love, even before the revolution, I'm a Massachusetts man. I'm a New York man. We weren't a United States. We were just a bunch of different states. And that's one of our problems going through history. Harder to embrace everybody. Like a good teaching of Jesus is love everybody. What's the greatest commandment, Jesus? Love God and love each other. Now, it's hard to know exactly what he said, but this idea of love each other meaning love everybody. Love your neighbor, love the stranger, love your enemy. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Love the people across the ocean that you'll never see, but you want the best life for them. That's pretty heavy. Pretty wonderful and beautiful. Honorable. You talk about honor. You want to be a man? Be honorable. Tell the truth. Do the right thing. Love each other. Love the earth. Don't get prideful. Me. Don't get greedy. It's all over the earth. It's sad. And a lot of the people that aren't that greedy or dishonorable, let it happen and don't fight back or don't elect the right people. So, good luck to all of us. So, a friend gave me this, Walden Thoreau. There was a quote from a lady. She said, the reason I love this book is because in every sentence there's a universe or something like that. Something really nice, In every sentence there's a universe. A lot of it, he's out in the woods, One thing about me is I grew up right next to the woods. Oak hickory forest, I believe. But right out our backyard in the 60s, I could walk straight into the woods. Out of our yard, straight into the woods. It was beautiful. It was wonderful for an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. Yeah. Right there with nature. I grew up like that. And I'm lucky. So I think that's part of Walden, simplicity. Now, this idea, Jefferson's idea of small farmers, there's 8 billion of us now. That's not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen. We have cities with millions and millions of people. That's not going to happen. But we can end poverty. We can create good neighborhoods with decent housing and give people lives of respect and jobs that will help pay for the necessities of a standard of living that a human being deserves. Quality of life. We can do that. We're not focused on that. We're focused on greed. How much can I get? How much? When they asked Trump about raising taxes on the rich, no, you don't want to raise taxes on the rich. Oh yeah, you do. Whether it's income tax, a wealth tax, which is what we need because over decades it's gone more and more concentrated. Well, this is America. This isn't billionaire land. Maybe they'll call that maybe they'll rename this country someday Billionaire Land, but I'm going to fight against that. Uh, Capital gains taxes, carried interest taxes. The problem with a lot of Americans is we don't understand tax policy, monetary policy. We just let these other people do it. And we watch football or go shopping, and or see what the latest fashion is, or do a video game instead of trying to understand how to create a good society. Well, tax policy and monetary policy and physical policy, all that's part of it. So, it's amazing and sad that so many working people struggling voted for a guy that says, no, don't raise taxes on the rich. Really? You want this guy? Well, how's that going to work out? So we have a challenge cut out for us. We have a challenge. We have 1,000 challenges, and we can face them all. We're not doing that right now, but we can. My last book, O Lost, Thomas Wolfe. Come Homeward Angel, Look Homeward Angel. So his famous book is called Look Homeward Angel. And I looked at that. But there's a really good movie called Genius, or at least it's pretty good. But I remember hearing the first lines of his work, and it was this guy, a brilliant, maniacal artist, writer, goes to New York's publisher with his thousands of pages or whatever, 1,000 pages, I don't know. This book is 700, almost 700. And the editor, of course, says, "Man, this won't sell. This isn't. We're going to have to work on editing it. We have to get it down to 300 pages, something like that, 400, I don't know." And I looked at Homeward Angel, and it's okay, but this is the real deal. This is his voice. This isn't the editor's voice. And they became friends. I think the editor was a good person. But this is the guy's voice. I'm going to read you the beginning of it, because that's what got me. Okay, come on. Here we go. Now, it says, Part 1, Prologue. I don't know what that means as the beginning of the book, prologue. Part 1, Prologue. Anabasis? Anyway, here's the first sentence. This is what got me. A stone, a leaf, an unfound door. Of a stone, a leaf, a door. And of all the forgotten faces. Naked and alone we came into exile. In her dark womb we did not know our mother's face. From the prison of her flesh we have come into the unspeakable and incommunicable prison of this earth. Which of us has known his brother? Which of us has looked into his father's heart? Which of us has not remained forever prison pent? Which of us is not forever a stranger and alone? Yeah, awesome, heavy, mystical, poetic. Have I read all of this? No. But I like to, or I haven't lately, but this idea of, okay, this is great writing. This is great expression of the human being. So I'm glad I got it. And let's just try to be better. I want to hopefully be a better person. I've been lazy about walking. I like to sit and write songs, and I like to sit and paint. And I like to sit on my bicycle and ride around 10 or 20 miles. But my hips are messed up because I haven't walked enough. I'm ignorant in that regard. We have to take care of ourselves. It's called self-care. We're not going to be very good for helping other people. If you don't take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Watch your bad habits. Try to increase your good habits. Enjoy this ride. Enjoy this ride while we're alive, while you're alive. The people that are angry and hateful, and racist, sexist, ageist, greedy, judgmental, dishonorable. Avoid them when you can, and have strength in yourself and the spirit world. And good people. There's so many good people out there. I think most people are good people. We struggle. We create societies that create bad situations. And I think that creates desperation, which makes bad decisions. A lot of the troubles we're having are self-created. And concentrated wealth is probably number one. Not caring about each other, not trying to end poverty. Like, that's not even a big deal, Like, we accept it. Well, you can't accept poverty. That's not loving your neighbor, your brother, your sister, the stranger, your enemy. You can't accept poverty. We have to lift everybody up to a certain level of standard of living, quality of life, and let them achieve their potentials. We have to think outside of this selfish human being that we can all be. My brothers and sisters, let's do it. Let's go.